Now I don't normally start my videos in the title screen of the game, but I thought you guys might notice a small difference, and that's the background and just the general layout. In the past couple of days I've been delving into the Metafault and Diverging Realms server, kind of having a little build, having a little mess around with the kind of resource pack they got there, and I have to say it's really awesome. Being someone who likes building with default textures, this is kind of the good middle ground between your kind of conquest and your normal building. Because it's kind of got those new blocks. Well, they're not even new blocks, they're retextured blocks, but they look different enough to be able to make a massive difference. So today I thought I'd show you guys what I've been working on the past couple of days since the last video. So this is the plot I've been working on. It's a big plot, and yeah, I've just sunk so much time into building this. I've kind of put this forward for review with the building team and the project lead on Diverging Realms, and hopefully well, my main aim is to hopefully become a builder on the server, because that'd be really cool. But yeah, this is kind of what I've put forward as my kind of portfolio, so to speak, with building. So I thought I'd run you guys through what I've built, you know, and kind of maybe give some backing as to why I built it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So this is the bit I kind of started off with. I really wanted to kind of have a cool terrain feature because I love terraforming. So I kind of built this ravine with a small stream going down the middle. As you can see, there's a lot of texture, player heads, etc. And it really adds to, you know, it kind of makes the terrain look really cool. So up here I've got a bridge as well. I made this small little wooden bridge. It's quite simple and it was kind of difficult to build because it's at an angle. But I think I've made it look alright, and I really like it personally. Over here I've got two kind of small farm fields. So here we've got a kind of rough farm field that hasn't been used yet. It's been kind of left on its own to kind of rejuvenate for the land to become more fertile, and that eventually it'll be farmed on again. Here we got some kind of horseradish. I don't know what kind of crops these are, but yeah, I wanted a mix here to kind of have lots of colour. The main focus for the area, as you can probably see in this diagonal storage barn, is wheat and grain and that kind of thing, hence why I've got the large wheat fields and the windmill. This windmill is kind of inspired by old medieval windmills, like the kind of box top ones that you might find in mainland Europe or such. So yeah, this is like kind of my own custom design. Yeah. So what's really cool about this server is, depending on the biome, snow layers have different textures. So in this biome, in the plains biome for example, the snow layers have dirt, so I can make a really cool kind of transitioning path as well. As you can see as well, with retextured blocks, they've also retextured glass panes to, when not joined with like a solid block, to look like logs. So that's really cool, as you can make these really cool looking trees. I got some tips from some of the other builders on the server regarding these trees, and it was really helpful, like, you know, adding the grass and such. It was really good. So moving on towards like the kind of main bit of the build, we got like little pockets of kind of atmosphere, and linking back to the 5 details build, adding life to the build to kind of develop it further. So as you can see, I've got this kind of little camping area, or this little resting area, I suppose. So you've got like little charcoal marks and a little campfire made with armor stands. A little stool there, some barrels, chests, etc. And there's another one of those over here as well, where I've got a little fishing thing. So you've got a fish rack, kind of a bucket of fish there, little stool, barrel, you know, that kind of thing, just to create atmosphere. I've also got this little stone bridge here. This was incredibly simple to make, but what really makes it is the kind of stairs and the texturing and the buttons, etc. Really develops the build. So this is one of the bits I'm really happy with on this build, and that's the partially harvested field. So as you can see, there's still a fair bit to be harvested, but where it has been harvested, the wheat's kind of bundled up along with the wheat heads, to kind of, you know, show what's been harvested and bundled up, ready to be taken over to storage barns or straight to the windmill over there. So here we kind of have the main house. There's a pantry area on the inside. It's a very small pantry. This house would only really fit one person or maybe a couple, I don't know. But it's kind of meant to just be, it's a very cozy house. All the interiors on these buildings are all done. There's not one house, it's just an empty shell. I've also got a well here, which is kind of cool. Because obviously they've got to get the water from somewhere. I mean, they might have it like kind of brought in via the barrels, but it makes sense for them to have a local water source. There's another wheat field here as well. Now coming up, we kind of get into the main main kind of core of the hamlet. So there's a path running off here, and the main path runs kind of through. So here we've got like houses on the left. These are partially terraced houses. They're kind of detached, but they kind of join at the same time. And as you can see by the roofs, they are slightly diagonal as well. Not as a sheer diagonal as a 45-degree one there, but they're very gradual, and that really kind of develops the build. Like, this house looks cool, but having them diagonal, it really does make them a lot better. So I won't show the interiors on all of these houses. I'll probably just show you the interior on this house and that one. So as you can see, I've got a small kind of kitchen area, some more storage just up by the stairs here. Bed area, kind of a small desk. This is one of my interiors that isn't so decorated. It's more of kind of a worker's house. But the 45-degree one here, now this I'm really happy with because it's so difficult to do 45-degree builds. This is the kind of the kitchen area. I've got some storage barrels, etc. for mead or whatever. And then up here we have the living space. So we have a kind of desk, and we have bookshelves, storage, and a bed, and a carpet as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with the interiors on all these builds. I'm not really an interior man, so to be able to kind of get this to look good is kind of a big deal. Throughout I've kind of got these trade goods, so I've got like kind of cargo boxes, player heads representing barrels and chests, etc. It's really good. Adds a lot more depth to the build. I've got this nice tree here as well. I really like this. Kind of breaks up the buildings. Another building I really like as well, and this is kind of a really unique build, it's kind of small, is a little jail, because I figured they wouldn't have a massive prison in a small hamlet, so I created this kind of small little jail cell here. It's quite dingy, it's cool, it's got a lot of atmosphere. And up here as well, there's kind of a small living space, nothing major, but it's, it's enough. This would probably be for the lone guardsman, or the couple guardsmen that live here, or live there, or whatever. Behind of most of the houses as well, I've got these kind of small little allotments. Veg plots or whatever, little farm fields, not even fields, little patches where the residents can grow their own food. So here we've got a kind of bit that's been deforested, and you can see the grass has been kind of trampled a lot, obviously because people are cutting down the woods. So I've added a lot of gravel and kind of more dirt like path texture blocks to kind of show that. And there's a little foragers lodge back here. It's very simply detailed. I mean, I haven't got much space, but I think I've made this look cool, and it kind of sits back against the land behind here, which is something I really like. Yeah, so this building has a good example of like a cool interior. So you kind of have like the storage down here, and then up here you have a nice desk, another kind of bookshelf desk thing here, storage, carpet, that kind of deal, and it looks really good, I think. Moving on as well, it kind of links to like the private gardens. I've also got this little back bit here, so I've got like a little cart here with some a basket of vegetables on the cart. I've also got these little patches here of different crop. I really like these. These are, I think, textures from Pam's Harvest Craft, and I really love those textures. They look really good. So yeah, this is kind of the main structure of the village here. Yeah, I think it looks really good. I mean, some of the buildings are somewhat similar, but I've tried to make them different in their own ways. So like they got different textured roofs. This one's got a chimney. This one's got like a little window here as well. This one isn't actually the same as these, so it's got a different shape. It's more of a kind of cross more than anything. These buildings here as well, they have texture in the roof. So like you've got the kind of mossy shale, and then you've got the darker wood. Same thing here. So now I'll show you guys the kind of vegetation, because that's what really makes this build kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's what really makes the build. So here we've got a kind of corner of a forest, and I've got a little stream kind of running down here. Now from here, I literally place the source block here, and you've done a stream, right, when it just runs down and you don't need to add any more source blocks. I think this was really good. So the kind of idea here is it would kind of come down and it would join down and probably wrap around or kind of come down again into this main river here. And this river leads down here, as you've seen, down into this gorge. Now the way waterfalls work, this would gradually erode backwards, so eventually this would just be a kind of massive ravine going through here, a kind of crack. So I've kind of tried to show that by having half of a ravine, half of a normal stream. Yeah, I think the vegetation I think I've done good on the vegetation. It looks very busy, but if you sit back and look at it, especially with shaders, it's like, very detailed, so I'm quite happy with it. But yeah, this is the plot I've been working on. It's been about 3 days of work, just non-stop work. I've literally dedicated so much time to this, so hopefully the review goes well. Even if it doesn't, though, I'm kind of, I love this pack, so I'll probably start carry on using it for my creative builds and tutorials. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe and click that notification button so you don't miss out on any future Minecraft tutorials. Feel free to check out my social media links in the description below for updates and more, especially my new Discord server, which you should totally join. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you in the next one.